My name is Sunny, and over the last 4 months, I tested 7 investing apps with real money. Not demo accounts, but real deposits and trades. I did this because I know exactly what it's like to open the App Store, type investing app, see 15 options like Robinhood and Fidelity, and just close your phone. You're convinced you need to start, but nobody told you which one to actually use. That ends today. You're sitting there with your phone in your hand. You've already watched the videos. You know you need to start investing. You're convinced. And then you open the App Store, you type investing app, and suddenly there are 15 options staring back at you. Robinhood, Fidelity, Webull, SoFi, Public, Acorns, Stash, and you just close your phone. Maybe tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into you still not having invested a single dollar. Not because you don't want to, but because nobody told you which one to actually use. That moment right there, that's exactly what this video is about. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button right now, because on this channel, we don't do vague advice. We test things, we show you what actually works, and we tell you exactly what to do next. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. And I want to be upfront about something before we go any further. This video is not sponsored by any of these apps. Nobody paid me to say anything. I know that matters to you because it matters to me too. I've seen the comments on other videos. This is just an ad. He's getting paid to say that. I don't trust this. I get it. So let me be clear. I'm going to tell you what I genuinely liked, what annoyed me, and which ones I wouldn't recommend, even if they're popular. You deserve that honesty. Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to give you a generic ranked list of apps and leave you to figure it out. That's not useful. What I'm going to do instead is match each app to a specific type of beginner investor, because the best app for you depends entirely on your situation. Where you're starting from, how much you have, what you're afraid of, what you actually want your money to do. But before I get into the apps themselves, I need to walk you through the 4 things I looked at when I was testing each one, because this is how I separated the ones that are actually good from the ones that just have good marketing. The first thing I looked at was ease of use. And I mean real ease of use, not easy for someone who already knows what an ETF is. I mean, could someone who has never invested a single dollar in their life open this app, figure out what to do, and make their first investment without feeling like an idiot? That's the bar. The second thing was cost. How much does it cost you to get started? Are there account minimums? Are there monthly fees? Are there hidden fees that only show up when you try to withdraw your money? Some of these apps look free on the surface and then hit you with something you weren't expecting. The third thing was what's actually available inside the app. Can you buy fractional shares? Can you invest in index funds and ETFs? Or is it pushing you toward individual stocks and options and things that beginners have no business touching yet? The options inside an app tell you a lot about who that app was actually built for. And the fourth thing, and this one is non-negotiable, is reliability and security. Is this app regulated? Is your money protected? What happens if the company has a problem? I checked SIPC coverage, FDIC insurance where it applied, and I looked at the regulatory history of each platform. Because none of the other stuff matters if your money isn't safe. Those 4 things, ease of use, cost, available options, and security, that's the lens I used for everything. Keep those in mind as I walk you through each profile. Okay, let's get into the actual apps. And like I said, I'm not going to just read you a list. I'm going to describe a person. And if that person sounds like you, that's your app. Pay attention. The first profile is someone who has never invested a single dollar, feels embarrassed about how little they have to start with, and just wants to dip their toe in the water without risking anything significant. Maybe you've been telling yourself, I'll start when I have more money. Maybe you have $10 sitting in your account right now, and you feel like that's not enough to matter. This profile is you. For this person, the app I recommend is Acorns, and here's why. Acorns has what they call roundups. Every time you make a purchase with a linked card, it rounds up to the nearest dollar and invests the difference. You spend $3.60 on coffee, it rounds up to $4 and puts 40 cents into your investment account. It sounds almost too small to matter, but that's exactly the point. It removes the psychological weight of investing. You're not making a big decision. You're just letting the app do something tiny in the background, over and over, until you look up 6 months later and realize you actually have something. The interface is clean, it's genuinely simple, and you can start with as little as $5. The downside is the monthly fee. It's $3 a month for the basic plan, which sounds small, but eats into your returns significantly if your balance is low. So Acorns is great to get you started and build the habit, but it's not where you stay forever. It's your training wheels. The second profile is someone who knows they want to invest, but also knows themselves well enough to admit that if they have to log in and do something manually every month, they won't do it. Life gets busy, you forget, and then guilt kicks in and you avoid opening the app altogether. If that's you, and be honest with yourself here, you need automation above everything else. For this person, the app is Betterment. Betterment is what's called a robo-advisor. You answer a few questions about your goals and your timeline, and it builds a portfolio for you and manages it automatically. You set up a recurring deposit, say $50 every 2 weeks, and then you genuinely forget about it. No decisions to make, no stocks to pick. It rebalances your portfolio for you. It handles dividends. It does the things that most beginners either don't know how to do or don't remember to do. The fee is 0.25% annually, which is reasonable. My honest take? The onboarding is smooth, the app feels trustworthy, and for someone who needs to set it and genuinely walk away, it's the best option I tested. The downside is that you have less control and less visibility into what's happening. But for this profile, that's actually a feature, not a bug. The third profile is someone who is not fully out of debt yet. Maybe you have a credit card balance you're chipping away at. Maybe you have a personal loan, and you're wondering whether you should even be investing right now or just throwing everything at the debt. This is one of the most common situations I see in the comments, and it's genuinely complicated. For this person, the app is SoFi. And the reason isn't just because SoFi has an investing platform. It's because SoFi is one of the few apps that combines banking, debt management, and investing in one place. You can see your loan balance and your investment account on the same screen. That visibility matters more than you'd think. When everything is in one place, you can make smarter decisions about how to split your money between paying down debt and building your portfolio at the same time. There are no account minimums, no trading commissions, and fractional shares are available. My honest note: SoFi's investment selection isn't as wide as some of the others, and the interface has a slight learning curve compared to something like Acorns. But for the person who's juggling debt and trying to build wealth at the same time, it's the most complete solution I found. The fourth profile is the person who did their homework. You've heard of index funds. You've heard of ETFs. You know you don't want to pick individual stocks. You just want something simple, a couple of broad market funds, and you want an app that doesn't try to talk you into anything else. You hate noise. You hate complexity. You just want to buy, hold, and stop thinking about it. For this person, the app is Fidelity. No account minimum, no commissions on trades, fractional shares available, so you can buy into a fund like VTI or VOO with literally $1. The selection of index funds and ETFs is excellent. The interface isn't the prettiest thing you've ever seen. It was clearly built for people who take investing seriously, not for people who want something that feels like a social media app. But that's also why I trust it. Fidelity has been around since 1946. It's not going anywhere. And for someone who just wants to buy index funds and leave them alone for 20 years, it's the most straightforward path I tested. This is the one I personally use for my long-term index fund investing. The fifth profile is someone who got burned before. Maybe you put money into something that turned out to be a scam. Maybe you gave money to a platform that disappeared. Maybe someone you trusted gave you bad advice and you lost real money. And now you're trying again, but trust is the #1 issue for you. You'd rather earn less if it means you can actually sleep at night knowing your money is safe. For this person, I'm also going to point you toward Fidelity, but for completely different reasons than the last profile. Fidelity is SIPC insured up to $500,000. It's one of the most heavily regulated investment platforms in the United States. It has a physical customer service line that actually answers. When I called them during my testing with a complicated question, I got a real human being in under 10 minutes. That's not common. If your #1 need is security and legitimacy, Fidelity gives you that more than any other beginner-friendly app I tested. And if you want to go even more conservative, Vanguard is the other name I'd put in the same conversation. It's investor-owned, which means there are no outside shareholders pushing for profit at your expense. The interface is older and takes some getting used to, but the trustworthiness is unmatched. Now, if you watched all of those profiles and you're still not sure which one is you, or if you just want me to cut straight to it and tell you what most beginners should do, here it is. No hedging, no it depends, just a straight answer. If you are a beginner with somewhere between $20 and a few $100s to start, you want to invest in index funds, you want to automate it so you don't have to think about it every month, and you want a platform that is trustworthy and won't nickel and dime you with fees, open a Fidelity account and set up an automatic investment into a single ETF like VTI or FZROX. That's it. That's the recommendation. Here's exactly how you do it. Step 1. Download the Fidelity app, go to their website, and open a brokerage account. It takes about 10 minutes, and you'll need your social security number and a bank account to link. Step 2. Once your account is open, search for the ticker VTI. That's the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. Or, if you want to stay within Fidelity's own funds, search for FZROX, which has a 0 expense ratio, meaning it costs you literally nothing to hold it. Step 3. Set up an automatic investment. Go to the Automatic Investment section, link it to your bank account, choose an amount you can comfortably send every month, even if it's $25, and set a date. Done. You have now done what most people only talk about doing. Close the app and go live your life. That's 3 steps. Download, pick one fund, automate it. You do not need to do anything else. You don't need 5 different apps. You don't need to watch the market every day. You just need to let that automatic investment run and not touch it. And speaking of not touching it, if you found this video helpful so far, do me a quick favor right now. Drop a like and leave a comment telling me which profile matched you. Was it the starting with $20 person? The automate and forget person? The one who got burned before? I read every single comment, and knowing which profile resonates most helps me make better videos for you. Hit that like button and let me know. It takes 5 seconds and it genuinely helps this channel. Okay, now I need to talk about something that nobody wants to talk about, but it's probably the most important thing in this entire video. I've been reading comments on investing videos for a long time, and there's a pattern I see constantly. Someone discovers an app, gets excited, sets up their account, makes their first investment. The market goes up a little and they feel great. Then the market drops, and I mean a normal, completely expected, happens all the time market drop, and they panic. They log into the app, they see a red number, and they sell everything. Sometimes they delete the app entirely. And then a few months later, when the market has recovered and gone even higher, they realize what they did and they feel terrible about it. And here's what happens next. And this is the part I really need you to hear. They don't blame themselves. They blame the app. They say, Robinhood made it too easy to panic sell, or I didn't feel safe on that platform, or I think I need to switch to something more serious. and they start the whole process over with a new app, convinced that this time will be different because the platform is different. But the platform was never the problem. The problem is that watching your money go down feels genuinely terrible, even when it's temporary. Even when you know intellectually that it's temporary. Even when every piece of logic in your brain is telling you to hold. The feeling of loss is more powerful than the logic of patience. That's not a character flaw. That's just how human psychology works. And no app in the world can fix that. What fixes it is two things. One is time. The longer you invest, the more market drops you live through without selling, the less scary they become. The second is understanding what you own. When you know that VTI holds over 3,000 American companies, that it has recovered from every single crash in history, that every 10-year period in the market's history has ended higher than it started, that knowledge becomes an anchor when things get scary. You're not panicking and selling because you understand what you're holding and why. So if you've bailed before, if you've panic sold, if you've pulled your money out and told yourself you'd put it back when things stabilized, I want you to know that I'm not judging you. That reaction is incredibly common. But I also want you to know that switching apps is not going to solve it. Building confidence in what you're invested in is what solves it. And that starts with education, not with finding the perfect interface. Which brings me to something I want to point you toward right now. The video that's showing up on your screen, watch it next. It covers the foundational mindset shift that actually makes investing work long-term. The apps I showed you today are the tools. That video is the thing that makes you actually use the tools correctly instead of abandoning them the moment things get uncomfortable. If you've ever sold in a panic, that video was made specifically for you. And before you go, if you got value from this, leave a comment right now telling me which profile is yours. Which investor does this sound like? The person starting with $20? The automator? The one rebuilding trust after getting burned? Tell me in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. We're building something real here, and I don't want you to miss what's next. I'll see you in the next one.